Not everyone can be a model, even though in today's age, everyone is a model. Not true. I must say, we have scouted and discovered quite a number of very good models. You just know that that girl is going to develop.
You can have a website with hundreds of models, but they won't be picked for jobs. The client would not only look at the outer of the model, but they will also see who she actually is. Who's carrying my brand?
We have very, very high standards.
It doesn't mean that life has been a song for us.
No, of course not.
It hasn't, but stay positive.
Yes! This is women empowerment. Hi, and welcome to Empower Beauty. I'm Nicola.
My name is Daria.
And today we have two special guests, Noelene and Marisa. They have a modern agency called SuperNova, and they have vast experience. So we really want to dive in because I'm sure you've got so much to tell us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for inviting
Pleasure.
us. It's lovely. Thank you.
Thank you for
And
coming.
both of you look so amazingly beautiful.
Oh, how sweet. And you too.
You are.
I can send you the compliments right back.
Thank you.
So you've been in the industry for 30 plus years, I think. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
quite a number of years.
Yes.
And
We've known each other forever.
previously
I mean,
before.
Not doing the agency.
Not doing the agency, but working together
Yes.
on different
Yes.
projects.
Noelene always used to produce TV programs, fashion-orientated, always. And she would ask me either to take part or bring in models.
Bring in models,
Styling.
Styling.
Styling, yes. So, it was always that role going on.
There was always a synergy.
Always,
You were
always.
gravitated towards each other, it sounds like.
So I think everything that we do together, it came naturally.
Totally.
The need
Totally.
arisen, and we just went up for it,
Back then, there were no agencies. We're talking about 85, 86, 1985, there were no agencies back then. So you just happened to stumble along and become a model in brackets.
Yes, yes.
Me personally, I've always shied from beauty contests because that is something else, because a lot of people have this misconception that beauty pageants and a model agency more or less are the same. It's not.
No,
It's totally
Exactly.
different. And even back then. So, the way it developed was very organic and very natural.
That's it.
So,
But how actually it started that one day you decided that it's going to be a modeling agency?
okay.
You had approached me, actually.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so I've always scouted models, always. Like I said, it comes naturally to me. Again, not everyone can be a model, even though in today's age, everyone is a model. Not true. That is what they say, not what an agency says. Okay, so an agency specifications for a model are very different. We will come to that later. But how it started was, I used to be known, back then I used to work at Haute Couture.
In fact, I was going to ask you because I remember when I came to Malta, we're talking about 25 years ago.
1995.
It was
94,
the hit
95.
place
Yes,
to
that
go
was
and
the
shop.
place to go.
And I lived in
Exactly.
central London, and I still used to go and be
oh
like,
my goodness.
like amazed and think,
Right.
okay, I need to get a few things from here because it's, it's cool.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
how amazing that shop was.
That shop was never replaced.
Never replaced, no.
I
never
don't think when
by
something
anyone
is so
else.
unique, it can be
Yeah,
replaced.
and may I also point out that it was a brainchild of my friend Glorianne Camilleri, and I was very good friends with Glorianne as well. She used to design clothes, I used to make them for her, and be her muse and model.
Wow.
Okay? And I remember the first fashion show that we had done was here at Corinthia, but we hadn't met then. But she saw me as I was a model, and she saw me, and again, she gravitated towards me, and she chose me, and I was her muse, and we're still good friends to this day. And then when she had decided to open Haute Couture, first she had opened a small one. And I, again, model, so on and so forth, and me model for her now. And then she opened the big one. And she had asked me to go and work with her, and I had never held down a job. It was my first time. And I said, yes, for you, I will come and work, because you're my friend, and we developed this Haute Couture brand. But again, choosing models. Again, we used to have a lot of models who are still around now. There's Romina, Joy,
Claudia.
Alison, Claudia. They all came from those days. And Noelene used to come and shop from
Okay.
Home Tour. And she still has clothes, which she still wears to
Wow.
this day.
I can't give them away. I can't.
Because
They
of
still fit her.
memories?
They still fit her.
They
okay?
still fit.
Because of memories or like nostalgia or because they're just so
no,
unique?
It's because I like them, so I can't really part
But you
with
still
them.
wear some of them, and they're
but,
really
but a lot of them were
relevant.
folded for quite a number of years. Now some items are back, so they're coming out again.
They
So she
became
brings them
vintage.
out. I either recognize them or not. If I don't, she say, you sold me this.
Amazing.
So anyway, and then obviously I moved on, and I said, okay, I must. Everyone used to know the models as in Modellita Marisa's models, and that's not right. I said, listen, I have to box this. I have to make it official. And I went to Noelene. I told her, you want to be my partner? And she said, yes.
Yes, because at that time I was doing TV programs, fashion orientated. So I needed models. So I was liaising with Marisa. So for me, it made a lot of sense when she came up with that proposal.
Exactly. And we work very well together, like I said, and it's nice to have someone.
Yes. Even to bounce an idea.
Exactly.
You know, at least there's someone, even if it's in my area, sort of, because Marisa scouts models, I try, but I normally pick the models she has already signed on. I'm like that.
She forgets faces.
I forget
But then
faces,
eventually she'll get used to them, but the new ones, it takes her a while.
So Marisa has her part in the agency. I am more into numbers, accounts, speaking with clients.
Noelene is very diplomatic, not like me. Okay?
But you know what? That's what makes such a nice
Yes.
duo dynamic
Yeah.
because
Yes.
Bringing talent.
exactly you're the grounded, more sort of I'd say business orientated, and you're the
Exactly.
creative.
Exactly.
Yes.
You complement each other,
Yes.
and I think a creative cannot be a true business person
No.
as well. Because I'm the
Never.
same.
I'm the
She's
same.
more business orientated, and I'm more creative, and
Yeah.
it works perfectly
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we balance each other out.
And normally creative people are not, like you said, business-minded when it comes to numbers.
You
or
can't because then you're
papers.
limiting your,
Oh my
your
goodness.
creativity.
Drives me crazy. And so Noelene is very good with dealing with clients. Again, she's very diplomatic when she sends an email. It's very flowery.
The angrier I am,
The more
or
flowery.
annoyed I am, the more flowers it will carry.
She writes beautifully with me. And that's it, So yes, there's that synergy which is lovely. And we organize events together. We work so well together. We organize photo shoots, fashion shows. And we understand each other.
Even model search, we've organized for a number of years.
Yes, I've seen,
yes,
and
yes.
like you have quite big campaigns. You've done Charles and Ron, and Vintage,
Yes,
Marbury.
No,
Yes.
we have, I must say, we have scouted and discovered quite a number of very good models.
In fact, there was I was researching that she discovered Tiffany Panzini as well.
Pisani.
Sorry, Pisani.
She came out of the SuperNova Model competition. No, Noelene. It was a bit before that. It was a bit before
Yes,
that.
yes.
It was the XFM. It was XFM back then. She came out from that. I still have the video, physics or not, because that was huge. And I remember so many girls turned up. I couldn't believe my eyes that this thing was so. Because you wouldn't think that.
There wasn't any on the island. Nobody was
Exactly.
organizing these things. So there was a thirst for them.
Exactly. So in the video, I remember back then you saw with Alexandra Page, the photographer.
Yes, I know her
Very
well.
talented.
Yes.
And we had taken a video, of the girls. And you see the girls mingling, and she was there with her sister. But we've had, discovered
Is it
so
Maxine
many
as well?
Maxine,
Maxine
but Maxine is one of the latest ones.
Latest.
And Maxine didn't want to be a model. Maxine, I chased her and I chased her and I chased her. And I used to go out with her father.
Yes, I remember you mentioning.
Pharaoh.
But you have such an eye. It shows that you
Yes.
really have an eye for,
You
a
just
certain
know,
beauty.
You just know that that girl is going to develop. Because one thing that clients forget is because what happens with this is very unethical. So we invest a lot of time in training these girls because obviously they don't come as you see them now.
Of course.
Okay, so we train them, we hone them, we show them how things are done. Makeup, hair, walk, presenting yourself, everything. And then what happens? Obviously, they start building their visibility on social media platforms. Clients sees the model. Oh, okay, let me message her. I mean, sorry, this girl didn't arrive to what she looks now as is because we invested our time.
We nurture them into what they become. So, and we tell them, they all list SuperNova Model Agency on their social media pages. So clients have a clear indication that she's not a freelancer. So ethics call for a collaboration between client and agency, and not the model, because the model is going to direct the client to us anyway.
Exactly, and it just makes them look bad.
Exactly.
On the other hand,
But you do get some clients who decide not to contact us. They just want to deal with the model direct, which is very unfair. Because at the end of the day, we're providing a service. That service does not come cheap. If I go to a shop and I buy an item from that shop, they're going to charge for that item. I can't just walk in and take it, right?
Exactly.
So, but people don't see this. They don't see the process.
Exactly.
And how long it takes.
When you buy a product, the seller is not just selling it at its worth. Added on to it, there's the importation, the transport, there's the overheads of his salespeople.
Exactly.
And this is the same thing. The model has to be packaged by us.
also, on the other hand, you are protecting the model as
Of course
well,
we do.
because you are not sending her on a job to the unknown, and she could be vulnerable, or
In fact, sometimes they contact us because either a photographer has contacted them or a company, and we'll say, okay, we
Check them
research, we investigate.
whether it's a
If
safe
we're
environment
okay,
or legit.
For example, we get a lot of requests from abroad.
Yes.
If it's something that we cannot check, it's impossible to check, because sometimes when you're contacted from China and India and Greece, we are not 100% sure that...
And we can't do anything. If the model decides to go, and we've had models who have taken on the decision,
they came back crying.
They came back crying. We can't do anything.
So
Because you're on your own.
So they've gone against your kind
Yes,
of
our
advice,
advice,
and they've gone
yes.
ahead anyway.
Yeah.
And
Because, we're all human. Sometimes the models would think that
We're trying to hold them back.
we're
Just
trying
what
to
the
hold
case.
them back because there's no
Think
money
it-
for us or something like that. But money is the last thing to
Last
think
thing.
about.
Yes, exactly.
We do it because we really enjoy it.
Yes.
We don't earn our living from the agencies.
But it's
It
nice.
pays the expenses.
But it's nice.
But it's lovely.
It is nice, and you see the girls growing from a little girl, a 13-year-old.
I was going to ask, actually, what age would you start? What age is your minimum of what you would
13.
scout?
13, but then again, we've had 13-year-olds and we've had 13-year-olds. There are some 13-year-olds who are quite mature in the sense, when we say mature, they understand what is required from them. Or they look slightly older than 13 years old, and then we've had really young 13 years old, and we will wait. So it depends very much on the girl. But 13 is a good age, like Giulia Bartoli, like Rebecca Cavalieri, those in Joy, those we've all started at 13. Because you can see the potential there. You can see that this girl is going to develop. We've sometimes invested so much time and effort that then the girl does not turn out to our expectations in the sense that
You've experienced that.
so she decides that she doesn't want to do it anymore,
Or they meet a boyfriend.
they meet a boyfriend.
And he's jealous, so he
Yes.
says, no, I'm not going to do this again.
Yes. And then they go out with the boyfriend 5 years down the line, they come back and say, oh, what a huge mistake I've made. Can I please try again? We've had all these experiences. But yes, you can see the potential at a young age. Yes.
But it has changed so much
It
now.
has.
We don't come across this anymore.
Sure.
Previously, a lot of the girls had boyfriends that influenced them.
Yes.
The girls today are not being influenced.
That's
They're
true.
more independent.
By
More
yes, they're more
independent.
independent.
Make
Yes,
decisions.
yes. but it's becoming harder and harder.
Yes, of course.
And we are super choosy and picky.
And what would be the criteria
Oh,
to choose a
height.
I'm sorry.
Yes, because sometimes I like a girl. Marisa goes for the perfect model.
I'm
I
old
think
school, okay?
I think as well on the commercial side, and I think she could be good. Okay, let me send the photo to Marisa. Do you like this model? And then the next one would be, what's her height? And I say, well, she says, no, it's useless. It's useless.
It's useless. I'm sorry. I know that there is this thing going around, commercial doesn't need to be tall. I believe in an all-rounder. I don't believe in training girls just because, okay, might be commercial, but I believe in an all-rounder, having a tall girl that can fit into any dress, any outfit that you put on them. You don't have to hem, you don't have to order the client. The model arrives, and she is perfect. He doesn't, or she doesn't, or the client doesn't have to think of how they're going to fix this dress on the model.
You know, if the for example, if the face is very beautiful, then you can work for commercial. But the thing is that there are restrictions. If it's a makeup or jewelry, then it's okay.
It works.
But still, she's restricted because if the client wants to create a video,
Exactly.
then he needs to show the full body, and that's where she'll start falling back on the number of people picking.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
then
So
I
what
do
would it be your height? Like, what's the standard you accept?
The least we go is 170. It's very short.
Which is very short.
Which is very short. But we've had some really good girls at 170. And then these girls have surpassed all
We're
our
good, we're good.
expectations.
I'm 165, so I'm
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
You
I
look,
hit 170.
you look tall. You look very
You
tall.
look very tall, yes.
It's true, you do.
170 is a height that we can work with. And like I was saying, we've had some really good girls coming out, and they can do everything. It's like, but listen, these girls don't come along very often. And I'd rather not stick to the ones that we have in our agency and not have new faces, rather than go down on the quality.
Yes, I can understand that. Yes,
The thing is, you can have a website with hundreds of models, but they won't be picked for jobs. And then, the girl starts getting frustrated because you're not promoting me, you're not giving me
And
work.
it's not the case.
And that's not the case because, when a client asks us for models, we ask him for a brief. What are you looking for? And then we try to select, to do a list for them to look at girls. And we do try to put in, although we know that maybe she's not exactly what he's looking for, we try to promote the girls because they need experience to flourish. But, they're not picked because there are quite a bit to choose from
Yes,
nowadays.
and what's happening as well now is social media. The client knows the model by name.
Yes.
So they will ask us for that particular model. And this is for the girls out there who are thinking of doing this. It's important because of the social media platforms, which I hate. I hate social media, just so you know.
It's not our era.
No,
So for
exactly.
us, we're...
I hate it. I find it also
We're
fake.
forced onto it.
Yes,
Exactly.
totally.
I do it just, I just skim over it. I just sometimes, me personally, post some pictures, but that's it. And I'm not on social media. But for those girls, and because clients, even agencies from abroad, when they contact us for a girl, they always ask us for their social media link, so they see how many followers they have.
Well, funny, and abroad, you don't get bookings unless you have a
Exactly.
certain amount of social media
Yes,
followers.
yes, now,
Which
yes.
is crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
now, yes.
this is like New York we're talking
Yes.
about. When I watched this
But
documentary,
because
I
the
was
client
shocked.
knows that once the model posts her campaign on her page, That's
gonna
free
fly off.
publicity for them.
Yeah.
Free publicity unless we agree otherwise.
Unless, yes, because that is being charged for now.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
Before, it
Yes.
was like, the girls were happy to get
Yeah,
jobs, so
of
they put them on their social media pages.
Yeah.
Now, it has to be in the contract.
Yes.
And if you want the model to post on her pages, then you have to pay her for that.
Yes.
Which is fair enough.
Which is
Yes,
fair enough,
exactly.
which is fair.
I mean,
Which is
if
fair
you're a content creator, you get paid for posting
Exactly,
anyway.
exactly,
So it's an extra.
exactly.
Exactly. So yes, it's very important that they build their portfolio, slowly.
And what's
their
important
presence.
for the girls who are thinking of going
And
into
boys.
the and boys
And
and guys,
boys.
yes,
Yeah.
guys, welcome. They need to look at their social media pages. They don't post rubbish
Exactly.
or things that they should be just sharing with their friends. Because a client goes on that page,
Yes.
and sometimes a client would not only look at the outer of the model, but they will also see who she actually is.
So the personality.
Who's carrying
Yes.
my brand?
Exactly. Makes sense.
Like
Yes,
building
of
a
course.
brand or identity.
Of course,
yeah.
of course.
Exactly.
It's very,
You
very
don't want
important, yes.
drunk on a Saturday night and then,
And
you know,
yes.
like come Monday morning,
Just
I'm
leave
all
them on your
business.
phone and show them to your friends. Don't put them on your
Exactly.
social media.
Exactly. I think that should be
Exactly.
for everyone, to be honest. You
Yes.
know,
Yes,
certain
yes,
things you regret it then
This
on a
is
Monday
why
morning.
I don't understand social media and how people perceive it.
Yeah.
That people post their life on it. Why would I want anyone to know my personal life? It is personal, that's why, because it's my life. So I don't know why people put their life out there for everyone to see and judge. What would you want to do there?
Because there is a trend, and the more authentic you
Yes.
are, then better
And
you
people
build
are
the
being paid to
connection.
do that.
Yes, and there are people being...
Thanks to the Kardashians, probably.
Yes. Well, yes.
Almighty,
Kim
the worst
Kard-
thing that ever could have happened.
Not to them, because they're.
No, Kim
they
was the
really
beginning
made
of
it.
Kim Kardashian was the beginning of this
Oh my
Instagram
goodness.
era.
But you know, she was Paris Hilton's personal...
Stylist, yes,
not stylist, she was her personal assistant.
as well.
Paris Hilton's. That's how she came about with this idea.
It starts from a seed and
Yes,
it grows.
it does.
Exactly, yeah. So anyway, so yes, there's a lot of facets to having an agency, and not just, okay, let me open an agency. And I think the factor that is,
I think nowadays, unless the agency is a professional agency with experience, it's like opening, I don't know, a shop without having any experience.
Yeah.
You expect to sell because you opened your doors to the public, but the public won't come. You have to.
and I think one of the bonding factors is that the girls feel nurtured, that the girls feel they are part of something. And whatever it is that they need, they can message us and they will
Yes.
find us there. That's very, very important in an agency, that they feel part of something. And even the girls and the boys, they make friends within the agency.
Yes.
One thing that I have always noticed is that because the girls that we choose are usually very tall girls get bullied.
When they're in school,
Yes, they get bullied quite a lot. Believe it or not.
And even because they're thin,
And because
they
thin.
get bullied.
Yes. In fact,
I had an incident, yes.
we had an incident where one of our girls was chosen
By Celine, was it? Or
next. The agency was next Model Management in Paris.
the designer.
The designer. And he had asked us to see some of our new girls, and we had presented him with about 4 or 5. Don't think it's a lot because the requirements are so high. Paris is the toughest one. And one girl in particular was chosen to model when Hedi Slimane moved to Celine.
Celine.
It was the fashion show to be in. And this girl, our Maltese girl, was chosen to take part in it.
wow.
She decided that she didn't want to do it. Why? Because she was being bullied at school that she was too skinny and too tall.
And they demoralized her
And they
self-esteem.
demoralized her self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
And there was no coaching her?
We tried. We
course.
even tried speaking with her parents.
Of course.
But obviously the parents were scared that they didn't want the girl to pass through another bullying session.
She would have felt at home, I would say.
Thank you, and that's what I was going to I was going to talk about, that a lot of these girls are bullied because of their height and because they are naturally skinny. Please note, okay? Eat what they eat, they remain skinny. As other people seem to think that they starve themselves, they don't. Believe me, we've seen them eat hamburgers, we've seen them eat the most fattening food, and they remain skinny.
We actually scold them sometimes.
Yes.
Don't eat junk food. Get water
Yes,
with you.
yes.
Get
No
Some
tummy,
fruit.
a salad
no
or
tummy.
fruit.
Don't tell me. Anyway, so people might not think that girls like that get bullied, but yes, they do. And with this girl in particular, she could have had a career.
Of course.
As a
She could have
professional
had a professional
foreign model.
career. Because everyone knows that the new faces that take part in one of the hottest fashion shows ever, there will be campaigns being planned for the new models. And she missed her boat. And this doesn't come along. It is so tough.
Once in
Must
a
have been
lifetime.
heartbreaking.
For us,
you.
it was very
Oh, it
heartbreaking
was.
because we
Really,
set up
'cause-
everything for this girl,
And it's such an opportunity, my
Yes.
goodness. I mean,
Yes.
these girls don't have, like you said, it's 1 in a million that would have that.
Even
Yeah,
think about
exactly.
this
Yes.
issue.
Yes, it's.
And
yes.
what other issues you face when girl comes?
What other issues?
Yes.
Not much, really.
We don't really have, because we protect them.
Yes.
So, for example, they never said we don't want to do that job because we wouldn't even offer it to them anyway. I don't think there are
Not
any
really.
issues.
No. Like we said in the past, it used to be boyfriend issues, but it
Yes.
doesn't come up anymore.
Have you
Yes.
ever had an issue where you sent your model on a job and maybe she's clashed with the photographer or something on
I
the
don't
suit,
think so.
on
I
the
don't
shoot,
think
and you've had to
we've
go
had,
and
Because they are prepped before. I mean, if she's experienced, we don't need to tell them all the time. But when they're new, we keep telling them what they should take with them just in
And
case.
usually, if the model is new, we pair that girl up with one that's already has quite a bit of an experience.
also she would go with someone else.
yes.
And also. The industry in Malta is so small. Even
Yes.
out there, it is small. Believe me, you think it's huge, but it's not. So, the photographers, the girls would know the photographers they're going to be working with, the stylists, the makeup artists. So when they turn up for a shoot, everyone knows each other.
Exactly.
And the new model, she would have already gotten to know the team because we would organize photo shoots beforehand.
It's like test shoots.
Like test
Yeah.
shoots.
So that she becomes more
So she's
confident.
really
She
nurtured.
yes.
Yes. So it's not like they turn up and they don't know anyone. Usually the team, more or less, everyone knows each other, so they would still feel at home, So no, these things never crop up, ever.
And if it's a beginner, we normally inform the client. Look, she's not as experienced as model A. Model B is a beginner, but he likes her more. So okay, we know what. And they're usually, and we always contact the client afterwards and ask, is everything okay? Everything went according to your expectations? But they will normally,
Yes.
once maybe they say, oh, we forgot to tell you about their nail varnish, for example. But that would be something that the client should
Yes,
have.
and maybe the makeup artist could have taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but
But little things like that,
but nothing major.
Nothing major.
Even the girls between themselves, like I said, they become friends because then they realize that, oh, I wasn't the only one that was bullied in my class. Well, she was bullied and she was bullied. So they form a friendship. Because obviously they find that they're not on their own anymore. So yes, all this it's very complicated. There's a lot of dynamics going on.
It's like having a young family really with them, because even when we have fashion shows, for example, everybody say, okay, who's coming with me in my car? They pull in, and it's so nice to see them, cooperating between them.
And they then choose to each other. Or
Yes.
we have a fashion show sometimes, not sometimes, but quite a bit of fashion shows. So anyway, this particular outfit needs those shoes. Okay, I do the styling, so I know what's going on backstage. So okay, model number 1 comes in, but model number 4 needs it so quickly she comes in, put shoes and out again. There's all these dynamics going on, but the model helps the other model to take her shoes, and she doesn't mind, and more or less they all wear the same size, 44 to 1, 39, 44 to 1. No,
That's
those are
really
the
funny
sizes.
because working backstage, I know that at front everyone's so serene and walking with like, they've
just the
glided
backstage.
into the clothes and glided onto the stage. Behind us, like,
In
mayhem.
fact, that is backstage is the only time when, I can't say when we clash, but when we lose
Getting
it
a bit heated.
Yes, yes.
like I want to get the models out there so that, there's a good flow. And Marisa's telling her, no, the other model has to come in to give her the shoes. She can't go out now. Marisa, the catwalk is going to be...
We have like seconds.
You go, listen, obviously knowing that the collection still flows, okay, because that's very important that you present a collection on the catwalk. It has to flow. You can't put in a red dress, and you can't put in a black dress, and then a yellow dress, and oh my God.
We've been
It
to
has
a fashion show like that
flow.
lately.
It has to flow.
It's a story.
It's a story.
It has to be a story.
People don't realize this.
Actually, I have a question. Why models, they don't smile? When you look at them, they're so serious. Is it the purpose?
It depends very much,
It
I
depends.
guess, on who they're modeling for.
I had an
Usually it's-
idea that they have to present clothes, so attention should not focus.
Yes.
Should not.
Yes, but then
Shift.
there are certain designers who want them to look very stern, almost angry. Others who want them just placid, and rarely they ask them to
No,
smile.
really. And even the girls, I mean...
Because smiling is more towards beauty contests.
That's why.
You're
Or
expected
edging
to
on
be-
commercial, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
So there is a reason why they
Yeah.
want it to be more like...
And it's like you said, they're showing off the clothes. It is not you out there. It is the clothes you're carrying that's important. So
it has so many different facets, all this, and you have to be in it to understand, and loads and years of experience. You can't learn all these things in a week.
no, even we keep learning, following, because obviously
Exactly.
although we do follow the local scene, obviously, but our attention is out there,
In fact, one of my questions I wanted to ask you is how do you keep up on trends and then implement them through your model agency?
Yeah.
Your area,
'Cause
Marisa.
trends,
Yes, I
trends
know.
are always changing.
I know, and I find them very fickle. I find trends to be very, very fickle, and just because it's a trend, it doesn't mean that we have to abide by it, And we just skim over it, like we said in the beginning of our conversation, that there are a lot of models thinking that they are models, they are not. Just doesn't mean because you have a lot of followers, it makes you a model, lifestyle model, fine, for what you are presenting, but doesn't mean it's good for an agency. So I get scolded a lot by certain people that you still you're still looking for the perfect models, but you have to allow that shorter models. No, I'm sorry, I won't.
So, with this regards, what do you think about trend of body positivity, inclusivity?
Yes, it's fine to have body positivity, but like if you want
for
to become a
your
lawyer,
model.
if you want to become an architect, you have to study. You can't just turn up and say, "Hi, I want to be an architect." It doesn't work like that. So the same things apply for a model within an agency. Yes, you can have body positivity, fine. You're happy with your shape, fine. But that doesn't mean we have to include that within the agency. The girls are all happy with their figure and what they have. The body positivity is there, believe me, because they're so comfortable, in the way that they look. But it doesn't mean that it has to come into the agency. And I know there are agencies who have, foreign agencies, big agencies that have given into this. But
The thing is that even I can understand that there are women who would like to model, but there are limitations. I don't want
and
to...
requirements.
And requirements.
Like standards
yes.
of the profession.
That's the point.
I think you have to draw a line somewhere.
Yes.
I think we can't all be inclusive. We can't all get a trophy. We can't, for
Exactly.
participating.
Exactly.
There has to be some standard to a profession.
Exactly.
And
I mean,
I
there
can
are
understand
brands who specialize on
Plus
plus
size.
sizes, and I don't expect them to get a size 6 or 8 model to model for them, but that is for that brand. We cannot mix different body shapes into one. Imagine we are sending models to Charles and Ron.
Yes.
They'll say, we don't have their sizes. Where are you sending?
Unless they specifically ask.
Of course.
You know,
But obviously the clothes that they make are a standard size,
size.
6 or 8.
And usually it's they create the
very
key.
long.
Exactly.
You know how long they are? I mean, can I just mention Caroline Paris? She's very
Yes.
popular stylist and online influencer. And when she was presenting the red carpet at the Malta Fashion Awards, she wore one of their couture gowns, which was very long. But they had to hem
Lovely.
this much inside
Wow.
because it was so long. And it looked lovely on her, and I love the dress that she chose.
Yes.
But yes, I mean, because we are the standard height, but they obviously, their dresses are very, very long. And let's face it, I mean, when you see a dress on a 6-foot model, oh my God, it looks
It's
like a work of
gazelle.
art.
Yes.
A work
Somehow,
of art.
whatever they wear, it looks good on them.
It's a work of art.
Because, they can really carry it.
And they are works of art. These couture dresses, these one-off pieces, they are works of art. There is art that you hang on the wall. There is art that it's sculpture. There is pieces of furniture. These are works of art.
Exactly. And without putting a bad light on because we mentioned Charles and Ron,
Yes.
close to our heart, we've known them for donkey's years. It doesn't mean that they don't cater for larger sizes. Of course they do.
For shorter girls.
And for shorter girls. But when they do the sampling of a
Exactly.
show, of a
Exactly.
catwalk show, they go with the traditional.
Exactly. And those outfits, they would be made specifically for those girls. Like Sarah Zarafa.
Exactly.
They love Sarah Zarafa.
In fact, she will go on the fashion show in
Yes, she
Milan.
was.
Yes,
And she's
she was.
quite tiny, actually.
In fact,
Yes.
Sarah Zarafa, of course, she came to us first. And we said, Sarah, we love you, but you're not tall enough. And she says this, she's very open about it. And I take off my hat to her because
That's
she's
true.
made a huge success of herself. I take my hat off to her. So she wasn't one of those girls and said, oh, the agency doesn't want me. You know what? She put her head there and she turned it around and she made it, But yes, when we send our girls, Charles Ron and Luke at Sopart and all the other designers out there,
Parascandalo.
Parascandalo, they all want the tall girls.
It's the standard.
It's the
I mean,
standard.
it's how it is abroad, and you kind of one hat fits all, I guess. If you're going to
Exactly.
model your clothes, they're going to look the best on that kind of stature.
Exactly.
So I can understand that.
Even when we're doing the styling for our fashion shows, when we have our fashion for a cause,
Yes.
we have, let's say, 8 brands taking part, okay? Now, how can we have 8 brands taking part and they have 15 outfits each? The outfits have to be of a certain size that because the girls don't go for fittings. We can't send the girls to 8 brands, 30 models all running around for fittings. Forget it. It can never happen.
Fittings happen that day.
That day,
in the morning.
before the fashion show, I do the fittings that day. But I know when I am doing the styling, I know the girls, what suits them, what looks good on them, and I style for them particularly. But obviously, the length, I cannot go to the shop if they have evening dresses and tell them cut off the hem for me. I can't do that.
Of course, no.
So obviously the clothes have to be of a certain height and the model has to fit into them. Like we have another very popular brand that works a lot with us, Door Boutique.
Door boutique. They're all very, very long dresses. Very
Amazing.
long
Couture dresses, amazing. Again, I can't give her short girls because She can't hem them. I mean, the girl has to turn up. She puts on the clothes and she does the video shoots, the photo shoots, and the fashion show. And also,
A welcome change maybe in the modeling industry is that they don't go for the only young anymore.
yes.
The
Yes.
age has the gap and the age has
Yes.
widened a lot.
That is a nice welcome, yes, because we've had some girls that we nurtured when we were they were very young, and obviously time goes by, they get married, have children, but they still took care of themselves, and they still want to model. And in fact, our ratio now is 50-50 when we do the fashion show.
So what's the oldest you have in your agency?
At the
oldest model?
moment, I think 42.
42
wow.
is the oldest.
Yeah, 42. Yeah. And if there are others, that are older and, can still carry themselves, welcome them. Yes, why not?
Exactly. There is one model,
Why
not?
Iris. She just turned 102
Yes.
years. So she's very successful.
Exactly.
Almost
Yes.
3 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
she found her niche, it seems to be.
And also on the social media, I've noticed that there's a lot of presence of ladies our age.
Yes.
Okay.
50 plus.
I just turned
I'm still
60.
rocking it.
I just turned 60 and I don't care.
Oh my gosh,
I
I
just
don't
don't
believe you.
believe,
I don't believe you.
I don't care. I speak about my age. I'm very open about this,
In August, 12th August, yes.
Amazing.
And I was very sick again.
Oh.
But anyway, so yes, I mean, I've seen that there's a lot of presence now of women our age, and they dress really nice and stylish, not crossing the line, because there's a very fine line when you get to a certain age.
I really glad that you said that, because I'm 47 and
You don't look at Nicola.
really, well, you've known me for years as well.
Exactly.
So
You're 47. God
47.
bless.
Thank you. I can
My
say
God.
the same
I
to
thought
both
you were
of you.
my
Both of
goodness.
Well, I'm
beautiful.
66 if everybody's going to say.
Yes.
I'm 66.
This is women empowerment. I mean,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
all look
Yes.
so beautiful and you're still so vibrant and full of life. And that's
Yes.
what I kind of wanted to project as well.
Yes.
That once you hit a certain age, doesn't mean you have to retreat into your shell and think, oh my God,
course
I'm
not.
going gold. No, relive your life and do all the
Exactly.
things that you wanted to do before.
Exactly. Because imagine all this that we know, you suddenly let it go. First of all, it's important that you pass on what you know as inspiration to others who might follow. And it would be a pity if we had to stop. I mean, I can't even imagine me stopping working. Why should I?
No, exactly.
You know,
I
as-
think
as-
there would be a big dent in the industry. I mean,
Yes.
As long
Yes.
as health is there and we take very good care of ourselves health-wise,
That's very
because that's
important.
very, very important. It's very important that you take care of yourself.
You don't burn the candle from both
No.
sides.
well, that's the
cannot.
beauty with age, that you've learned that
Yes,
trick. In your
yes,
20s, you think
that's
you're
very true.
invincible, you think, oh, I
Yes.
can live off 3-4 hours sleep.
Yes.
When you reach a certain age, you're like, I need my 7 to
Yes.
8, even 9 sometimes, and
yes,
I
yes.
need, to do my regular facials and
Exactly.
eat well. And
It's very important that you eat well. What you put in your body is your fuel. And it is so important because I know when you're young you don't care, but as you grow older, that is, how I see it, you have a piggy bank that's empty. And you start putting in money slowly. And it comes to a point where it's full. And then you can reap the benefits of what you've put in that money back. And your body is exactly the same. What you put in your body back then, not artificial fillers and all that, because that is cheating. That is cheating.
She's against it.
really,
I am not.
I'm pro. I'm going to put it out there. If it makes you feel good, why not?
Yes.
No, me too, me
And
too.
I'm fine with it, but for me it doesn't apply. Because
God bless. I swear, if this is all
Yes.
natural,
No,
my
she is
God.
natural.
natural.
She's
But
a
listen,
natural.
I'm still very careful. It is natural. But I am very mindful of what I do and, like I said, what I put in, because, then it starts
course.
going,
No, the
and,
same as alcohol and
No, I've
it's-
never done that.
And Marisa, even when she was young, she was already very conscious of what she gives to her body.
Back then, it wasn't because of my looks. Back then, it was more health-wise, because growing up in a bar and seeing what it affects to us it does to people, I didn't want that effect on me. So I said, no, this doesn't, no, I don't want this. I don't want to ever get drunk and feel silly afterwards. And no, I don't want that. And smoking, the same thing, it's bad for you, you know.
But
so
you
I stayed
were
away
unique
from
in
it.
those days, because I remember, I
Yes.
mean, people used to smoke on the plane when
Oh,
we were
yes.
younger.
Can you imagine?
You know, it's like stuck in an airplane.
Today it's
Everyone's
like a
smoking.
scandal.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's crazy.
Clubbing, I used to go clubbing quite a bit because I love to dance.
And everybody's smoking in the
Yeah,
class.
so
you know?
God knows how much secondhand smoke I've
Of
swallowed.
course, of course.
You know, but hey, I mean, I'm not a nun, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to and needed to mingle with people and socialize, you know. But skipping the alcohol, drugs, and smoking, you know, I skipped those.
Well, it definitely worked for you, and the healthy eating and
It did,
all
it
the
did.
other secrets that you have.
No secrets to
No.
all there.
Well,
And
you're
those
blessed, really.
those
Both of you are
secrets.
blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Both
thank
are
you.
gorgeous.
But yes, and I think mental health also is very, very important. That you keep yourself prepped up, you know.
It doesn't
positive.
mean that life has been
Yes.
a song for
Of
us.
course.
No, of course not.
It hasn't. But stay positive.
It's very important to be positive mentally. So always thinking positive, 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 and trying not to let any negative thoughts coming into your head because they do wiggle their way in. You
Of
know?
course.
And you push them back. No, I'm not listening to you. No.
And mental health is so delicate. It comes on slowly.
Yes.
And when it finally hits you, then you are in trouble. You
Yes.
really need help. And unfortunately, I think if I hurt my hand, I go quickly to the doctor because it hurts. But if I'm not feeling 100%, it will pass, it will... But sometimes you
very
just have to
true.
say, okay, let me speak to someone. They might tell me, you're okay. It's just a passing phase. But you might need help as well.
Also, us talking like this, people think we are perfect. Believe me, we are
No.
not perfect. And we do have our hang-ups. And we try to control them. One of them being weight. I'm talking about
Wait,
myself.
and the mirror tells
You
me
know?
too many lies. I can't be looking
But
like this.
And it's true. I look at myself in the mirror and I see one thing. I'm not seeing what other people are seeing. Believe
But
me.
can I tell you,
I think all of
seeing
us.
you both, if our viewers are looking at you, 66 and 60, and I'm like, oh my God, I could only dream to look like both of you. And
Oh,
then
you
you
will.
hear
You will.
that you
You will.
struggle
You
with
will.
weight and looking in the
course,
mirror,
of
and
course.
it shows we are all
Of
we all have the
course.
same insecurities.
course.
It's
Yes.
crazy.
Of course.
Even if you look,
But you have to
perfect
keep
to
them
someone
at
else.
bay.
Yes.
This is it with insecurities. You have to keep them at bay. It doesn't mean they are not there. They are there, believe us.
we all
And-
suffer from the same.
And thank God we are a group of friends that we can talk to each other and understand each other, our hang-ups, because we do have them.
Yes.
And how we
you
try
have that
to
support.
support, yes. And we meet them once every 2-3 months, and our group.
But it makes a difference.
It does.
It makes
It does. Because yes, I mean we're human after all. We're not
And
superhuman.
it's so important for women to have these women groups and see each other. It's so healthy.
Yes, it is.
You know?
And talk about everything. You
Be
know, let
honest.
it out there. Be honest. You know,
Exactly.
and what you're worrying about, and just even by putting it out there, even if there is no answer to what.
Yes.
But knowing that someone else is aware of it, it's.
It's that motto: a problem shared,
Shared
is a problem halved. And I really
Exactly.
go by that motto.
Exactly.
If you hold
Exactly.
it in and you harbor it, it's
Yes.
just going to fester.
Yes.
It's
And it can get
festive.
worse.
That's
you know?
the perfect
If you release
word,
it,
yes.
and you might get no feedback, but you might get the feedback that you
Exactly,
need. But at least you
exactly.
released it, you know, and then you say, okay,
You're right.
I can move on.
You're right.
And we laugh about it, about our silly hang-ups. We laugh about it. Oh, your mind, b'serjetà. Like,
It's like you're unwell. Oh, but I lost weight because I'm not eating.
We're so crazy women.
it's true.
It's like when someone gets gastric flu. Oh, I
Exactly.
died, but I lost 2 kilos. You mad?
That's what happened to me,
My instructor always tells me, it's just water, you're going to put it on in 3 days. I'm like,
no,
I don't want to hear that.
No, because that's what happened lately to me, and as I was going through this horrible virus that I had, the only thing that was keeping me going is, Marisa, you're going to lose weight. And you're going to fit into those trousers that you haven't fitted in for 3 years. Oh, so that pulled me through.
How funny
Motivation.
women are.
To recover as soon as possible.
The silver lining.
Silver
Yeah.
lining, but you have to have something
But
to pull you
it's
through.
true. And it's all mindset. I think as you get older,
It is.
it's all how you view your
Yes,
life, whether
exactly.
the glass is half full or
Exactly,
half empty.
exactly. I could have cried myself, I'm so unlucky, look what happened to me. I could have done that. And the first thing that I did when I was strong enough, again, go try those trousers on and see if they fit. And I did. And I went, oh, and I was so happy. So that pulled me out.
It
of
was
my
worth those few days.
Exactly. It pulled me out of the negativity
In
because I
fact,
was negative.
You had
I
one
was.
at the Motor Fashion Awards.
I couldn't attend.
And you didn't attend
yes.
for
And I had to wear
best
my outfit.
contributions. Oh,
And I was really hoping that please make me strong enough so at least I go to the awards. But no, I couldn't. I was too sick.
and it
Too-
was
too
your
sick.
second award as well.
Yes. And I didn't know about it. Okay, it was going to be a surprise.
Oh, and the only day, because you had been there the whole week,
Exactly.
the only day that you
Exactly.
didn't
Yeah.
attend. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I didn't know. And then first Caroline told me, then Adrian called me, told me, Mara, are you sure? Told me because I said, Adrian, I'm dying. I can't. I cannot. You know me. If I could, I can't even stand up. Couldn't even talk. So it's okay. It passed. It's fine. It's gone.
And you had your partner who went
Yes,
beautifully up there.
And I was so scared because I tend to be clumsy sometimes. I was
clumsy as if.
Yes.
As if we should clumsy.
No, but
clumsy.
the older
You're
I
most
get, the
elegant person
clumsier.
I know.
No, but I'm getting clumsy with
I am
age,
clumsy.
I think.
No, listen, not true. She's the most elegant.
That's true. I was going to say, you're like a gazelle, you glide.
She's never flustered. She just, So anyway,
But I was scared that it will slip and break. You know, I felt the responsibility.
Yes,
yes, I
I
felt the
think-
responsibility. And I told her, please, only can you accept it on my behalf? Because unfortunately, I cannot.
Because in fact, I wanted to comment, Noelene. The way you looked at the Motor Fashion Awards that whole week, you were like a gazelle, and you just couldn't
Thank
be on
you.
par with any model you have in your agency.
Thank
Each
you.
outfit fitted your body immaculately. The way you held yourself.
Thank you.
Really
and thank you to Charles and
compliment.
Ron because they supplied all the gowns for Fashion Week.
And also something that I've noticed with Noelene as we've gone along. Noelene used to be very shy before, and she still is shy, but she's become more confident. And when I like
Yes.
taking the walking videos,
Yes.
and because I find them so interesting, and she really gives to the camera, and I know how different she used to be before.
And I think it came with age.
See,
Really. The older you get,
you see.
from my part, I feel I am less conscious and less bothered
Less bothered.
by what people are
Think.
thinking.
I can
Yeah.
feel that for
Yeah.
sure. That's how I feel as I get older.
I mean, I have all respect to it doesn't mean that I don't care about whoever,
Less
what people
conscious,
think
though.
about me. But it doesn't bother me anymore.
Mhm.
I mean, if you don't like the way I'm dressing up, but I like it.
That's it. But I like it. That's it. So and that's body positivity.
Exactly.
There it is. Yes, I know we live in a very perfect age. Everyone has to be perfect, and these filters, I can't understand them either. Because if you're already beautiful, why do you want to apply a filter? Everyone looks the same.
We decided no filters
No filters. I mean,
for social media.
and even when we used to model, when we were young, there was no editing, nothing. A picture was how it came out from the camera.
Yes.
So we don't understand all this and why people actually feel the need. Why can't people be truthful and just present yourself as you actually are?
Because in reality, we're not living in a truthful time in
Times,
every
yes,
media
yes, yes,
aspect,
yes.
and that kind of mirror, it kind of ripples off to society because that's
What worries me is the younger generation.
Yes.
Because when I'm looking at certain
Yes.
people and you see perfection, and I say, okay,
Yes.
filters. But I'm old enough to accept
Yes.
it and say, oh, it's filters. I
Exactly.
can't go in the mirror now and expect myself to look like that. But the younger ones, they're still, I mean, like when we were young and we used to go through all the magazines, and see all those retouched photos because they used to be retouched. the magazines. We really
You
miss
missed
them.
them. How much pocket
We
money I used to
miss them.
spend.
Oh my goodness, I used to buy them
Marie
all.
Claire and
all.
Glamour.
And I would wait for, usually it would be a Thursday when they arrive. I go buy them all, sit on the balcony in summer and winter on the sofa, and I will be with my beautiful magazines.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how much I miss it.
I
how
loved
much I
magazines,
miss
It's
it.
true.
Young people today don't know that feeling.
No.
And the smell,
And the smell.
the
and-
excitement of something new.
and leafing through them and going back to the photo shoots like the Linda Evangelista, the Claudia Schiffer, the Cindy
that's
Crawford.
the 90s models
Yeah.
were
Oh my
everything for
goodness,
me.
and I still own
Really.
those
No more
magazines.
supermodels,
Yeah.
in
I
fact.
couldn't throw them
No,
away.
exactly.
I couldn't throw them
I
away.
moved to many countries because I kept them for quite a while, certain ones, you
Yes.
know.
I
but-
didn't keep all of them, but I kept the main ones. I kept them.
But-
In fact, the one that's and doing the rounds right now, because you know the Claudia. Well, no, Claudia wasn't in it. Evangelista, Naomi, Turlington, and Cindy. They did a photo shoot for Vogue. They're on the
Yes.
September
Yes,
issue.
I saw it.
I have the original one that
Oh,
came out in the 90s. I still have that.
Amazing.
I still have it. Yeah.
I'm sure you get something for eBay.
Vogue September issue is always a precious one.
No, I don't want to say as if. But I still have that. I mean, we were there when it happened, you know. It was such an iconic
I
time.
think it's true. We lived through a really special time in life.
And it will never
Yes.
come again.
It won't, it's true.
We're lucky because we saw so many
Yeah.
different
Changes.
Changes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's-
And
we saw the
also-
evolution of it.
Yes.
And also, I think it's about standards, and that's why maybe people don't understand. We have very, very high standards. We grew up in high standards, so it's very
Yes.
difficult for us to let go of them because they're ingrained in us.
Exactly.
We don't know otherwise.
It's who we are.
It's who we are. And I know now the sensors have gone down so low, and I can't understand how people can actually be happy to be at such a low level. But then if you don't know the high level,
But they
can't-
don't know. They
don't know
the
the
difference.
difference.
Yeah.
You don't know
The problem is, we are with everything, artists, social
Yes,
media,
Yes,
the music industry,
Yes.
the film. They're losing that.
yes.
How do you say that? Having self-dignity,
And that's
Yes.
something
respect.
special.
That it's something that should be your number one aim
Yeah.
in your existence.
That's true.
You know, not I can do everything, I
Yes.
can be anything, and
Yeah.
everything has to be accepted.
Yeah.
You lose yourself. It's like giving a child play with everything.
Exactly.
You know, you
Yes.
have to sort of say no, that's dangerous, and
It is
that's
sort of forced. It is not a natural progression. It's not a natural talent that's being nurtured. It is a talent that's forced. Okay, I want to become a singer. But you don't just become a singer. You know you are a singer from when you are a very young age. Or that special talent, you would know because it comes out when you're very, very young. But now it's like everyone can do everything.
Yes, but I think they're exposed to so many things. I mean, they see someone on social media with a guitar and trying to sing, or with a karaoke and they're singing and they're actually out there for everyone to see them. So they think that it's easy. I think. but
Yeah,
now
Also,
it's-
I would say from my age that my generation is thinking life is too short. You have to try everything
Everything.
possible.
Yes.
You need to try your talents in singing and modeling.
Really?
Yes, that's what I'm experiencing.
So that's why.
Because then at the
Oh.
end of your life, you look back and you
Yes,
might
I've tried
feel
everything.
pity and regret that I didn't do something.
Okay.
okay. We're seeing it all from different.
Yes, like with us,
Dynamic.
It's that never crossed our
I
minds.
think we're selective in what we want to do.
Yes, yes. We don't want to do everything. We want to be
Everything, yeah.
good at few things.
And the thing is that I think we know, we select what we're good at.
Naturally.
Naturally, because
Naturally.
I wouldn't mind being a singer. I mean,
If I start singing, everyone will leave the
oh,
room.
me too. My son used to tell me, "Ma, not even in the shower, please." But I used to be home and singing, you know, in front of the mirror. But it never occurred to me to try and go out there and sing because I knew I was.
Exactly. Even when I was young, you know, when you're young, you mimic, you start singing, but then I'm hearing myself, oh, I sound really bad. You know, so I know I can never be a singer, but then I'm good at other
Yes,
things. So I will
course.
make sure that whatever I am good at, I will hone it, learn it as a craft. because that's the only way you can get forward.
But if that is what's working for the young people now, who are we to stop it?
No, of
Or
course.
criticize it?
No, of course, hey, of course. And maybe that's why everyone
Yeah.
is trying everything, because that's the mindset. Let's try because life is too short.
Yeah.
I don't see life as too short. Even now at 60, I don't see too short. I still have a
There's
lot of things to do. Okay, I might die tomorrow, everyone, but I don't see it like that.
But dying is not just age nowadays. I
No,
mean,
exactly.
it could be so many horrible things that will stop a life.
But positive. Well, there's too many things negatively going on out there.
Yes.
So you have to be very positive.
Ladies,
Amazing.
what other advices you might give to our audience or girls who want to be a model and they're suffering with their self-confidence? What might work for them, or might be what kind of training you're providing if you face these issues?
But it's not
when
the
they
training all about. It's not just the training. The belief has to come from inside.
Inside. In fact, one thing, and we really need to close this.
Because you can keep on
Because
going,
we can keep on going.
and your podcast will go forever.
You could be the tallest girl, the most beautiful, the most graceful. If you don't really want it, you won't make it.
You won't make it.
We've had
Yes.
girls who were handpicked by foreign agencies. Some felt that being beautiful and tall with a good figure and boys can get you there, but it doesn't. You need to want it.
Has to be a certain
And
character.
believe in yourself, I guess.
You believe in yourself, and you are ready to go into competition. Because if you are signed up by a foreign agency and they send you for casting means many girls, many
Who are
models
just
out
as
there
beautiful or more beautiful
than you. So when you go in for your casting, you have to give your best. You can't just think, I'm beautiful, they're
It's like
really
a
going to fall in
persona.
love
You have
with
to
me.
be a bit of
It's
an
a personality.
actress as
yes,
well.
Yes, you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be. And there'll be so many girls for the same job and who are hungrier than you, because it means that if they don't get this job, they don't have a roof over their heads. Don't forget,
Exactly.
in Malta, we are very cocooned. We have a family that supports us, sends us money if we are abroad, pays for our lodging.
Yes.
Other girls don't have this option. Or boys, they have to survive. So they will try anything to get that job because that means food in their mouth and a roof over their heads. That is just to start with. Because obviously models, as they grow, as they gain confidence and popularity, then big money starts coming in.
Exactly.
In the beginning, it's what gets you by. So it's that belief in yourself that you are better than all of them. And you walk into that room and you own the room. You don't just walk in, give the portfolio and expect Lady Luck to shine down on you. Lady Luck has already shone down on you. She's giving you that. But now you have to push it the rest of the way.
Exactly. It doesn't just happen.
Doesn't that happen?
I think on that note, that's for everyone in life.
Yes.
And that's that
Exactly.
misconception that you think you've gone halfway and faith will do the rest. No, faith had got you halfway.
Exactly.
And you now have to step up and,
Yes.
and
Faith in
Exactly.
yourself.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
So
Ladies,
That
it
is-
was amazing. I really
It
enjoyed
was a
our
pleasure
conversation.
for us. Thank
thank you
you.
for inviting us.
Our
We love
pleasure.
sharing our knowledge.
Aw. And really, you did give us so much
It was
info,
amazing.
useful
Yes, amazing
information.
time.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. And good luck, ladies.
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thank
You're doing a
you.
wonderful job and looking beautiful.
Sweet, thank you.
Welcome.
Likewise. So, thank you for today. If you like our kind of content, follow, like, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you.